It has been 7 months since the January 6th riots at the Capitol, and in the next half hour, a congressional committee will meet for the first time to begin its investigation into the attack.
News 6 investigator Eric Sandoval has been following arrest and all the developments from the beginning here. And Eric is joining us now. And Eric, what can we really expect for today?
Well, this is a House Select Committee, so that means they were handpicked to be on this committee in Washington, D.C., and they're going to basically be investigating what exactly happened on January 6th and who exactly was responsible for the events that led up to this. Now, today we are going to hear directly from 4 police officers, 2 from Capitol Police, 2 from another agency who were there on Capitol Hill that day. We expect to hear what kind of struggles they endured as this huge group of people climbed over the barricades and simply ignored commands to stay out of the U.S. Capitol building. Before that, though, we're going to hear some opening statements from Homeland Security Chairman Benny Thompson, who is a Democrat from Mississippi. And we are also going to hear an opening statement from Republican Representative Liz Cheney of Wyoming, one of 2 Republicans who are on this committee. Also an important note, Representative Stephanie Murphy of Orlando is on this House Select Committee. So, of course, we're going to be watching what kind of questions she has as well.
And, Eric, it really is significant that they are starting with hearing from law enforcement.
Absolutely. I think they really want to get a good gauge of, their scope of things, because I think we've seen a lot of the video of the officers behind the barricades saying, don't come past the barricades. But then we have seen that other video and the anecdotal information that some of the cops were actually waving some of the people inside. So you have both of those angles here, and I think that is what this committee wants to get to the nitty-gritty about, to see if there were actually cops who were on the quote-unquote inside helping some of these people come in. But also hear from some of these officers. One of the officers who's going to testify this morning is actually an Iraqi war veteran. And he's going to be talking about the injuries he sustained during this insurrection on January 6th, specifically the countless foot operations that he's had since that day. So he was really injured.
Yeah, and I was watching CBS this morning, and there was one officer talking about just being repeatedly tased in the head. I mean, it really is a different perspective when you hear it from those officers.
Well, and I think some of the Republicans, I don't want to say a lot, some of the Republicans who were actually, resisting this kind of investigation, they were saying that, it was quiet. One person actually, I have the direct quote here, I want to get it right. One person said that the rioters looked like a normal tourist visit. That was an Arizona Republican, Paul Gaspar, repeatedly saying that it was just a normal tourist visit. I think a lot of people would disagree with especially the images we see right here.
As we see those images while you read that quote.
And you've been following a lot of the arrests, a lot of locals here in Central Florida. So how many arrests have been made with this connection?
We are almost up to 24 now. We are at 23 local arrests. And when I say local, this is the 9 counties that our station serves, up to Flagler County to the north, Osceola to the south, Brevard to the east, and Marion to the west. So 23 local arrests. The very latest coming last week. It was a father and son, both of them former law enforcement, the Tucks, and they had their initial appearance in a Washington, D.C. court last week. And the hearings just keep coming and the arrests keep coming.
Are they getting any prison time for this?
There is one local plea deal where a Tampa man was sentenced to 8 months in prison. So yes, there was also Michael Curzio, who was one of our local arrests. He is from Marion County. He also agreed to a plea deal in Washington, D.C., and basically he was sentenced to time served. He is back home now, so he is already out of his sentence and in the clear. So yes, but I think most of the rough sentences, the tougher sentences, are going to be going after these collective groups, the Proud Boys, the Oath Keepers, the groups that are really accused of initiating and planning what you see here before January 6th. These aren't the people who were just caught up in the moment. These are the people that federal prosecutors are alleging conspired to do this. And I think those are the people that federal prosecutors are really going to be going after.
Yeah, everything gets underway at 9:30. So
9:30.
we'll, of course, bring it to you here on News 6. And you'll be hanging out with us throughout the morning as well.
Look forward to it.
Thanks, Eric.